In my previous video, I explained how you can make a character with the use of quick build. This is good if you just need a basic level 1 character, but what happens when you need to level them up? What happens if you just want to customize your character, make them more unique? What are all the different classes you can choose? These are all things I'm going to answer in this video. Now, we already covered pre-made and quick build in that previous video, so you can go back to that one if you want to learn more about those. But for this video, we're going to assume that you're trying to get more out of character creation. Just like before, we're going to want to go to collections, go to my characters, and then we're going to want to click create a character, and this time we're going to click standard. So if we look down at these character preferences, you're going to see all these options, and you're probably going to wonder, oh, which one should I pick? Should I do milestone or XP, fixed or manual hit points? Let me tell you, almost all of these options are up to whether your DM wants to use milestone or XP or fixed or manual hit points. So talk to them and ask if they want you to change anything that's not the standard thing. The only thing here that you can do is pick a avatar, which we're going to pick this for now, and we're going to name our character Philip, sure. For the purposes of our video, we are going to pick a high elf. When you pick a race, you can read more about them, a bit more about their lore, a bit more about the abilities that you're going to get. Some races even get more abilities as you level up. That's very uncommon. I don't think any of the standard races that you start off with get that, but it's something to note. When you do pick your race, just scroll down here. Anything with a blue exclamation point generally means that that is something that you can customize. In this case, we can choose a cantrip that we want to learn. I'm going to go with Mage Hand just because it's a very valuable cantrip, and we're not trying to min-max a character here. I'm just trying to walk you through the steps of how one is made. Now we're going to spend a little more time on class because I'm only going to be picking one today, and if you pick something different, then that's going to mean that you're going to have a different experience building your character, so you should know what you should be trying to do with it. Anyways, we should speed around this because this might take a while. Barbarians. Barbarians use their rage to take more damage to be the party's powerhouse. Bards channel their magic through musical instruments. They're the true meaning of the jack of all trades, being skillful swordsmen, charismatic, and just overall skillful. Clerics. These are typically seen as the party's support or healer, but are more appropriately the more magic-focused of the holy duo. Druids. They can wild shape into different beasts, scouting and fighting purposes. They also have some pretty useful magic, the more magic-focused of the nature duo. Fighters are the most mundane of the classes, but don't underestimate them. Fighters are the most customizable class, containing the most ability options out of any class in the entire game. Monks. Whether you want to be Jackie Chan or Aang from Avatar, monks control over their ki to be able to deal powerful blows with just their fists. Paladin. Sometimes seen as the White Knight, paladins fight in the glory and name of whatever god they follow, the martial focused of the holy duo. Ranger. You want to run around like Aragorn or Legolas from Lord of the Rings? You're going to pick Ranger. The martial focused of the nature duo. Rogues are not just assassins for hire. Rogues are good at those professions, but they also make good treasure hunters, and for their ability to find and disarm traps you might find in dungeons. Sorcerers, powerful spellcasters that got their magic through genetic or destiny. They didn't learn their power, they were born with it. Warlocks, magical spellcasters that gained their power from a patron who was willing to give it to them. Often at a cost. Their power isn't theirs, they either took it or bought it. Wizards, arcane researchers. Wizards must study and read and keep up with their magical abilities. They earn their power through practice and overpriced tuition. Whew. We're going to use that take because that's probably the best one I'm going to get for a while. You can click any of these classes to read more about them if they interest you. For today, we're going to be choosing Bard because Bard, being the jack of all trades, allows us to pick a lot more options that apply to a lot more classes. And as a final reminder, when choosing your class, that you choose the class you want to play. Don't let anyone tell you that, oh, this class is hard to play if you're new to the game. Pick what you think is fun. You will have fun with it. I've seen too many players get kind of bored of the game because they want to have magic, but then they're convinced into being a barbarian. After choosing Bard, we once again have to look at our customization options. It's also good to look at the abilities we get, but most importantly, to have the character made, we have to fill all these in. So we get 3 musical instrument proficiencies and 3 skill proficiencies. The musical instruments don't really matter that much. As long as you have one of the instruments, then you'll be fine as a bard. And then the skills, you might think that I might tell you what the best skills to pick are. The truth is, the best skills to pick are the skills that you're going to use. In this case, a bard will probably use performance because they play instruments. And if this character is going into a tavern, might want to play that instrument. So performance would be a good one to have. But if I decided that this is going to be a very honest bard, deception wouldn't be a good one to pick. If I decided this bard was very loud and doesn't really sneak around at all, stealth would be a bad pick. When you're done that, no matter what class you're playing, you're going to want to look up here and see if you have spells. If you have spells, that means your character has access to spellcasting. Another way you can tell is you probably have the ability spellcasting. So you click here and you click add spells and it'll tell you how many spells you need to add. Wizards, it does not tell you how many level spells you need to add. Wizards have 6 leveled spells to start off with. So for our instance, I'm going to say Message and Vicious Mockery for our cantrips. And then for our leveled spell, we can do Healing Word, Hideous Laughter, Unseen Servant, even though we have Mage Hand, and Detect Magic. There is no, these are the best spells, these are the worst spells. It is entirely up to what you think would be best for your playstyle. Are you playing a support character and you want to help people and heal? Well, one of the healing spells like Cure Wounds might be useful. Do you plan on having a lot of offensive options? You might want Chill Touch and Firebolt. Do you want to be a utility caster, meaning that no matter what problem is in front of you, you have a solution to solve it? That would be Jump, Misty Step, those type of spells. So don't get too hung up on picking the perfect spell list. Focus on what is the spell list that would most fit for this character you are trying to play. So once you get to the abilities page, you're going to have 3 different options for how you're going to choose the abilities for your character. You have standard array, you have manual rolled, and you have point buy. Standard array is you're given your set of stats that you can pick, and you can place them onto your character however you want. If you see the totals are different, so for example, my intelligence is going to be different, and my dexterity is going to be different. That is because of racial bonuses I have from being a high elf. This is good because you don't have any stats that are to overkill at level 1, and you don't have any stats that are too low. Like, you only have 1 negative stat, and you get 2 pretty good stats, a 15 and a 14. Point buy is very similar to standard array. In fact, you can recreate standard array in point buy. The difference is that you can choose your stats through a points system where I decide, okay, I want this for that, that for that, and that for that. This is good because it gives you more customization while still being on the more balanced side, but you could end up in a situation where if I decided, oh, I want a 15 and a 15, that means I'm going to have 2 kind of bad scores at the end of the day. Manual and rolled, in this case, this is the most standard way to do it. I've voiced my criticisms about manual and rolled. However, it's 46, drop the lowest. That is a think you're understanding now. I'm so happy I did this whole thing in one take so you can understand why I don't like rolled. Rolling for stats generally does give you better stats than doing standard array or point by. I'm just really unlucky. But sure. I'm going to make a point. I'm going to make a point and apply my ability scores. Description is about what makes your character your character. As you can see, I've already gone and changed our character's profile to something that actually fits a high elf. But we have two things that we have to do here and some things that we might want to do. So we're going to want to take our extra language that we get from being a high elf, I assume. So I'm going to take Gith as an example. For background, we can pick a background. You get noble. Background is what were you doing before you became an adventurer. So you get some skill proficiencies out of that, some tool proficiencies out of that. We're going to take the dice set. We get another language from the noble. We're going to take goblin. And you also get a background feature. Most campaigns that I've played in totally forget that your background feature is a thing that you can use. I wouldn't worry too much about it, but also be aware that it exists and you can tell your DM, hey, I can do this thing because I have this background feature. Suggested characteristics, I've already chosen mine. These are things, once again, you don't have to use them. I haven't used them in a very long time. They're just supposed to help you get into the mind frame of what your character's attached to and what's up with your character, basically. And then we get down to alignment. Here's the thing about alignment. No one cares what alignment you are. I haven't picked an alignment for any of my characters in the last 2 years. The reason is I used to overly fret about what alignment I was going to pick until one day I realized that my alignment really says nothing about who my character is. Yeah, sure, it implies some things about the actions that they should take, but in every different situation that he's going to be in, there's going to be alternate circumstances that are going to make him act outside of his alignment. And that was why I have a character sheet where I've ripped a hole through the alignment because I was erasing it so much because I couldn't figure out what alignment he should be. So you can pick an alignment, but don't worry about if it's right or if it should be updated or anything like that. Don't even think about it. Just forget it exists unless somehow it comes up and then maybe decide in the moment. Everything else on description doesn't matter, so we're going to move on to equipment. Equipment, I would recommend always choosing equipment over gold. Gold doesn't give you as much. If you're an experienced player, you can find a way to make gold better, but we're going to stick with equipment. I like equipment more. You get some options. So for the bard, we get the rapier, the diplomat's pack. We can pick a lute. And if I just add that starting equipment together, there we go. We have our starting equipment. We can equip it so that way it's going to appear on our character sheet. We can see all the other items we have. We can see the gold that we have. And that's it. We have made a level 1 Dungeons and Dragons character. Now you might be wondering, how do you level up? You might be at the end of your first session and your DM says, okay, it's time to level up, or you might just be ready for it because you know leveling is a thing you're going to have to do, which good for you for being proactive. You're going to want to go to class, click level 2, see your new abilities that you get, check for spells. I don't think I mentioned this earlier, but you can click on any spell to see what it is about, and we can add it to our list of spells, and that's it. That's all you have to do to level up. Now, there are 2 more things that we have to cover before this video ends. At level 3, every character will have picked their subclass. Some characters get it as early as level 1. I think Wizard gets it at level 2, but most classes get it at level 3. Subclasses are really meant to add a bit of variance or customization to your character, or to really specialize them into a niche. For the Bard's case, because we don't own any additional content other than the basic rules, we only have the College of Lore available to us, which lets us choose more proficiencies. It gives us bonus proficiencies. Just gonna click around. We got another ability. If we go to spells, we go add spells. We get level 2 spell. We're gonna do blindness, deafness, just as an example. And yeah, that's how you do a level 3 character. Now, when you get to level 4, everyone gets their ASI, or ability score improvement. This is a +2 in one ability, or +1 in 2 abilities, whatever you prefer. Highest it can go is 20, unless you're certain characters who can go higher than that in some of their stats. If you don't want to take an ASI, an optional rule is feats. We don't have any feats because this is the basic rules, but if you have access to those, you can ask your DM. They're basically enhanced abilities to, once again, focus on giving your character more things to really customize them. And there you go. That is everything that you need to know about creating a character in D&D 5e. If you want to learn more about the rules, I have a previous video on that. I'm making more intro to D&D videos in the future, so if you're interested in that, click that subscribe button so you can get updated when those videos release. Thank you for watching. This is the end of the video.